The other area where capacity is being demanded of businesses is in the meeting of these, the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. How many of you are familiar with these? The United Nations had identified these as being the 8 things that needed to be achieved by 2015 in order to make reasonable progress in alleviating poverty and achieving sustainability. I have to say to you, in my personal view, these have been completely blown out of the water by the economic recession. So at some point we're going to be regrouping and thinking about what is the new time scale by which you could actually start to seriously address things. But quite a few businesses have been asked to look at what are the areas where the resources of business significantly contributes to the meeting of some of these. And ultimately, part of this comes down to the relationship between your business and society, particularly your customers, particularly the other people who can affect your business, the regulators and so on. Google is an interesting case in point. Google, which as you probably know has got the motto, don't be evil, has the benefit of simplicity, is one of the most trusted institutions on the planet, interestingly, largely because it works when we use it, and quite a lot of things in this life don't. So that in itself is enough. But on the other hand, partially because we know some of the things that Google does. Google is brilliant at systems design. So they started to look at, well, could we design the smart energy grid that would considerably reduce America's consumption of energy whilst enabling people still to have the things that they enjoy having? Why isn't it an energy company thinking about that? Well, because Google is good at systems design and is good at poking its nose into anywhere where its innovative approach might make a difference. And things like that are one of the things that people like about Google. One of the things that they face that runs against that, of course, is that as a global company, you're often faced with difficult dilemmas. Which dilemma do I particularly refer to in relation to Google? China. And it's a tricky one, because in China, they were told that in line with Chinese law, their search results had to be edited, censored. And for a company that's based its starting concept on accessibility of information, that was a very difficult call. Because they're saying, well, if we pull out of China, then they don't get any information from us whatsoever. And people like Baidu, the Chinese search engine people, will happily snap up all of that. And as we've got a global internet, and China will be an increasingly important part of it, this company, Baidu, who are not overly fussed about social responsibility, actually will take the lion's share. But we also don't believe in censorship. So the compromise that they reached, which is that, you know, if you obey the law of the land that you're in, that's supposed to be a socially responsible thing to do, that when search results had been censored, that they gave that information to the user to say, in line with government policy, these have been censored, they felt was the best result from the point of their mission and the point of view of the options that are open to them. But plenty of people in their home market absolutely lambasted them for it. The US Congress was one of the most vocal, saying how awful they were. The US Congress, of course, and the American government continues to deal with China. And this is where you get expectations on businesses that governments don't necessarily meet themselves, which is one of those dilemmas.